We're gonna get going, you guys. Thank you for hopping on tonight. I'm super excited to have Morgan Raymond on. I want to make sure that I first mute everyone though. Hang on one sec. All right. So, a funny story. I was just scrolling through my Explore page, and this cute girl popped up, and I'm like, oh my God, I love her account, and I'm like looking through the way that we all do, right? And I'm like, she would make a great coach. Then I started diving a little bit. I'm like, she's already a coach, but then I messaged her, and she can tell you guys, I messaged her, and I'm like, hey, would you ever be willing to come talk to my team? Because I love your account, and I love what you're sharing, and I love how real it is, and it just looks awesome. And I asked, of course, I'm like, so whose team are you on? And it's Emily. And I'm like, of course, because I love Emily, and there's a lot of similarities between the two of them. And I'm excited to be able to have her speak to you guys tonight because, you hear these coaches who have achieved a ton of stuff in 5, 6, 7 years, right? And that's cool and all. I mean, I've been a coach for 9 years. It's nice to hear people who have succeeded and had a lot of things happen. But sometimes it's unrelatable when you're in the trenches, when you're actually doing I'm still doing the hard work, but when you're doing the beginning work to build up your team, when you're hustling to get to that diamond rank, and then star diamond, and then 2-star and 5-star. And it's so awesome to be able to hear from someone who is in the trenches with you and is hustling. And if you look at her account, Morgan Raymond, I think it's underscore right after that, you'll see that she's doing so many awesome things right. She's sharing on her Instagram very openly, and she is making sure that she has pretty eye-catching scroll stopping pictures, and she's doing the work, and she's bringing people onto her team. So when her and I were talking through Instagram, she had just said that she had gotten her diamond back, and she'll talk to you guys a little bit about this, and had been a coach since I think May 2018. And said, I hit diamond, and then I dropped, and then I was getting it back to solidify it. And then her and I were talking. She's like, I'm currently ruby. And I said, share that, you guys, because that's real life. We think that when we drop rank, it's like the end of the world, when really that's just part of the game sometimes. And it just means, okay, I have to keep continuing to move forward and bring the right people onto my team. So I have no doubt that by the end of this year, this girl is going to be crazy and high into the business. Okay, so make sure that you listen to what she's saying and you take notes and you apply it. So Morgan, I'm going to hand it over to you and let you start talking.
Great. Well, hello everybody. Kind of chatted with you earlier on our failed link, but as you said, I had been a coach since half my head's chopped off. Thanks, bear with me. Since May. And I started, after high school, I was waitressing 2 jobs and literally probably dying. I was working crazy hours. If anyone's a waitress, hours are crazy already, so times 2. And then I was going to school part-time, online, and things were just so dull in my life, and I had no idea where I belong or anything. I was just lost. I was just going through the motions day in and day out, doing waitressing, going to work, sleeping, whatever. Nutrition was crap. I didn't even know what a fitness routine was at the time. And then 80-Day Obsession came out, and I did the whole round with my stepmom. And my coach, Jade, I almost said Raymond, Newton now, she is actually my cousin. So she has been a coach for, I think, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever it is, very successful. So it was always hard kind of watching from the background, if that makes sense, and totally knowing I can do it, but the self-doubt, it was super pathetic because I'm she's been on my butt. I even tried in high school coaching, guys, and I failed epically. I mean, I was a high schooler and I was worried about other things at the time. So I knew I could totally do it. I knew it literally took me texting Jade saying, hey, okay, I'm ready. And I just kept pushing it off and pushing it off and pushing it off because I didn't want to do the work. Oh boy, 21 people in the wrong group. Do we have everyone here? Kind of keeps going. Hopefully they pop in.
Don't worry about it. We'll just share the recording.
Okay, perfect. So anyways, I've been watching Jade, and I think one of my biggest fears was the judgment, the fear of failure almost, because I was I never can be like Jade. She's so successful. And so one day I was just so tired of doing the motions of this boring life. So I texted her, signed up that day, ran through 80-day obsession again. And I did have a transformation. I posted it. I was so scared to post on social media. So if there's any new org coaches on here, I still feel like I'm scared half the time, but I posted it and I got amazing feedback like instantly. Like people were wanting to join. They wanted to know what it was. So I signed, I think on my first month of coaching, I think it was like 32. I hit Success Club like 32 or something. Had no idea what that meant. Second month in the 20s, I was ecstatic, but I still was like, okay. So then Jade told me, she's like, all right, well, now it's time for you to hit diamond. And I was like, oh, okay, no problem. So I hit it first. I dropped, of course. And basically what I did, when I went diamond the first time, I built my team off of discount coaches, which isn't necessarily the wrong thing to do, I don't think. Now it didn't work for me though, because the next month most of the time they go inactive. I take like a 50-50, half the time they're going to go inactive. There's just some of those people who don't fall in love with the product, or financial situations, things like that, things happen and people go inactive. So I ended up dropping. And then Jade told me, hey, we got a diamond retreat going. You're going to be there on a beach retreat. And I was like a couple of weeks in, maybe a month in, and I was like, oh, like actually like on the beach? And she's like, yes, Morgan, on the beach. I'm like, okay, sweet, I'll be there. Guys, I have never busted my butt in one whole day. Of course, I procrastinated. Like insane amount of procrastination happened. The very last minute, me and my girls pulled through. I feel like can you guys hear me? Yeah, okay. We pulled through very, very last minute. And I remember crying in the bathroom at my house. I'm like crying in the bathroom. I thought I wasn't going to get it. Anyways, I hit diamond, was invited to the beach retreat, which is the best time I think I ever had. And I kind of like sat back and like realized, and even now, if I wouldn't have made that happen, and if I wouldn't have had the invitation to Florida, guys, I honestly probably would not be coaching this. Like I probably would have stopped because I didn't know what was possible. I was doing these things and doing the work, you call it, but I like was so new. I like had no idea what else was out there. And the team retreats and like summit and things like that, I still haven't been, but I do have my first ticket. So I'm super excited about that, but I probably would have quit because I had no idea. I had no idea really what was possible. I mean, I seen Jade and I seen everyone on Instagram, doing all these trips and doing all these things, and I seen what was possible, but I just didn't believe that I could be doing that too. So that, I mean, and I don't want this to sound bad, guys, because hitting new ranks is always super important and amazing. But to be honest, if a Florida beach retreat wasn't in the options, I probably wouldn't have pushed as hard. And that sounds bad, but I keep reminding myself, and I've been in a rut lately and we'll talk about that, but I keep reminding myself, like, you got to work as hard as you did that day when you almost lost your trip to Florida. And I keep reminding myself of that, and like going back and thinking, okay, what did I do? How did I talk to people? And like, how did I make that happen? And it seems impossible because right now I'm like so struggling, but I'm like, okay, I've made it happen. Guys, I think I've dropped diamond 4 or 5 times. Not even kidding. And it's so, I don't want to say embarrassing because like you said, it's literally like the game. It's going to happen. You're going to drop and it is okay. But that's a really big, hard pill for me to swallow, is dropping. And I feel like that's something a lot of people have trouble with grasping and like being okay with. And I'm still working on that. But it is okay to drop. It is totally a learning experience. And I actually today I went back and I really thought about the times I dropped and why I dropped. Was it because I was slacking in my boot camps and people weren't interested anymore? Was it just discount coaches? Was I not giving my coaches enough attention and helping them so they felt like a failure, so they quit? So I really have been looking at all different aspects of what I can be doing to get that back. Like she said, I'm currently sitting at Ruby and that is totally okay. I know what I need to do to get back to diamond. But I'm figuring out a game plan, if that makes sense. So I really do like to look at, okay, what did I do 6-7 months ago to hit diamond? And I was so excited and so passionate. And I felt like I kind of lost that fire because I dropped so many times. And that's something that I keep telling myself, it is totally okay to drop. It is totally a learning experience. And you've just got to find, I really think the only thing you can do when you drop is find out why you dropped and fix it. There's no reason to throw a pity party. Even though I'm the master of pity parties, there's no reason to throw a pity party or to be hard on yourself, because it is life. I promise you. I do have notes, so if I'm looking down, I'm not like looking at my phone for crazy reasons. But so yes, discount coaches. My whole team. First time I hit diamond was pure discount coaches, and I'm sure you guys have heard this before. But I transfer my discount coaches into my working coaches. And that's not something that I personally recommend. It doesn't work for me. I'm not saying it doesn't work for anybody else. But for me, I offer every single person who signs up with a challenge pack, I offer them the chance to be a discount coach. It saves them money. Everybody loves discounts. And if they decide to in the future, it's already done. And that, that fee gets waived when they do sign up with the challenge pack. So it's already done. So what I did was I kind of just took my discount coaches. I looked at my discount coaches. I'm like, okay, who would make a great coach? And I looked at my downline, and this isn't something I just did in the beginning. I'm constantly doing it. And think, okay, who would make a great coach? If I know them personally, those are the people I'm going to reach out to first. So I took my discount coaches and I switched them to working coaches. I still have, I think, 3. So I have 3 of those out of the 14, 15 that I have that are still with me from May of 2018. So I think that right there just kind of shows you, like, there's going to be people who aren't going to stick around. And that's got to be something you've got to be okay with. You totally got to go into it knowing, okay, they could be gone in a week. They can be gone in 3 months. And that's something, you do your best to keep them around and do everything you can to help them. But sometimes that happens, and those 3 girls are still going strong. We've had our bumps, and there's been bumps, but we're still working on it. Of course, I said this is such, I feel like it's such a learning process 24/7, this business. There's always something new. There's always something to be learning from. There's always, even if it's other coaches on Instagram, I'm like the world's biggest Instagram stalker ever. Okay. It's pathetic, but I will go look at other coaches' pages, successful coaches, new coaches, whatever it is, and I'll look and see what they're doing. Gives me fresh ideas. And I look at, how that coach and their team does their kind of things, and think like they have fun activities they're doing or fun things they're doing to keep their team active and engaged. Those are things that I bring over. So I stalk the crap out of people all the time. Don't be ashamed. You stalk, because I do all the time. And I kind of want to, speaking of stalking, let's go to social media really quick. Guys, I sucked at social media really bad. Like I said, I started coaching my senior year of high school. So I had those, I started coaching, but I wasn't necessarily using Beachbody programs. I was probably about 50-50, and then I'd go to the gym and kind of do my own thing. I was completely lost, like a chicken with its head cut off, walking around the gym, no idea what to do. But I posted about it on social media as a senior in high school. They weren't pretty pictures. They had no filters. So they were just kind of thrown in on Instagram. So when I started back in May, I went through, and my biggest tip, I think, is to clear out your Instagram. I even asked Jay, I said, hey, do I need to create an Instagram? She said, absolutely not. It's up to you. And that's not something that I even recommend for my girls either, and something I don't want for my Instagram is to be strictly fitness and no life. And I feel like for a while, that's how I had my Instagram, was strictly, mirror pics, finish my workout. And that's great. And it works for some people. But for me, I like to incorporate my daily life. Like the other day, I was like, posted a selfie. It's my brother's birthday, out doing this and doing that. But that right there was like, oh, how fun, and that interacted with people, because sometimes people get bored of seeing just the same old selfie all the time, and the same old mirror pic. And so one of my first tips I would say is to go through your Instagram. You know, I was a high schooler. I took out pictures that I wouldn't like on a business page. Let's be real. There's drinking pictures and things like that and just stupid high school pictures. So I deleted them. Nothing wrong with it that they were on there, but that's just not what I want for my brand or my business. I don't want people going onto my page because they said you stalk and you scroll and you scroll and you can get down years and years. And I mean, people look at those things. So my first thing was I deleted all of those pictures that had no business being on my Instagram page. And then I think my next biggest thing was just starting being consistent. And that's something I've here struggled with lately that I will get to as well. But just be completely consistent. Even if, I mean, I could post this right now. I suck today on my Instagram stories. And I almost pulled up my Yeti and just said, drinking my water, just getting people engaged and letting them know that you're there. So being consistent on your stories, I think, is huge. That was like a huge like game changer for me. I would post on my feed. I had no problem posting on my feed. And then when Jade told me, hey, okay, you've been a coach for like 5 months and you've never gotten on and talked to your story. And I'm like, well, I don't have to. What are you talking about? And I remember the first day I did it, I was absolutely terrified after got done. It was like the easiest thing in the world. And but it was that consistency of doing it over and over and over and over. It's like when I'm not on my stories, I like, it's stressing me out. Like today I was babysitting and like running around, going crazy. And I'm like, I have not posted on my story. So I went to my page, posted something on my page, you know, how you can send it, the little arrow, send it to your story, get people talking, get people, you know, engaging with you. Because I've noticed I get more engagement through my stories. So that is something, you know, it's really hard, I think, for people to, you know, go to my picture, my call to action and comment. Because if it's a friend of mine, their friends are going to see it, our friends are going to see it. And it can be tough to admit you need help and to reach out to someone. So, and then I'm not going to message them. It's okay. I'll wait till the next time. You know, if you put up a story with a poll, guys, all they have to do is click one button. No one else will know but me. So that's something that I didn't use for a while. And once I started using that, it was totally game changing for me. So the consistency on the stories, I think, is huge. It does wonders for me. And it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't need to be fitness related 24/7. Okay, I'll go to the nail salon and post pictures of like colored nails. And I'm like, what color? And they help me. And it's just getting people engaged in your life and building those relationships is totally key. Megan said earlier, the honesty on my page it hasn't always been there, if I'm being honest. Has not always been there. I always used to try to be just like picture perfect, like getting my workout in, like no honesty whatsoever. There was even a time I lied. Okay. I lied and said I did my workout and I didn't. It still haunts me to this day. So as the new year rolls around, I was like, something I have got to really work on is just totally being honest. And I think it fell in like the perfect time. December was the weirdest month for me, guys. I mean, it was thing after thing, event after event, weird things happening. And what I did was not on purpose, but my natural reaction was to ignore everything. I didn't post. I think Jade finally messaged me. She's like, Morgan, you haven't posted in 4 or 5 days. And I was like, you're right. And I didn't check my DMs. I was just in this rut. And I think part of that was because I fell off my fitness routine. I fell off my nutrition routine. If anybody else, if you fall off your fitness routine and your nutrition routine, I tend to see the business goes to crap. Because you're not passionate about it anymore. You don't feel your best. I know I run my business the best when I feel my best. So that the being honest thing was not always there. And I started to share that on my page here recently, you know, just saying, guys, I've been in a rut. It's not that I've lost my passion for fitness, not at all. It's just I've lost the excitement to get up and do it every day. So I've been really, you know, I shared with my followers, hey guys, I'm really trying to find, you know, that motivation again to get back into this. And you know, and to do this. And I just shared with them. I was just honest with them. You know, I've been in a rut, and, you know, take your time and things like that. I had so many people message me. I had so many people comment. And it's just the simple things like that. Most of them was, hey, thanks for being honest. Like, we don't, you know, you don't see this often. Like, I really appreciate you being honest. And I've been feeling this way. And that right there is a relationship. And I message them back and I talk about it, you know, hey, what are you going through? Like, and it's as simple that I was not even trying to sign this girl up, not trying to talk anything fitness, just building those relationships came from my honesty on my post that I was so scared to freaking post. I was frightened. I'm like, hey, they're going to think I'm a loser. But hey, I haven't posted in 5 days, so why not be honest? So I feel like, you know, being honest, which also kind of leads into my next thing, is being you on your social media is huge. I feel like you can tell when you follow someone on social media, and it's happened to me before. You follow them on social media for long periods of time. You listen to them talk on their stories. You see their posts. You see all of these things, and you meet them in person, and they're total opposite. And you're blown away. And I've noticed that, and I've seen that actually happen, and I've never met this person before, and you see them, just things are different. Not that they're like, oh my God, you're a terrible person and you're so nice on Instagram. It's just they're different. Their attitudes are different. You know, their perspectives on like just everything is like totally different. And so I always think, imagine if I tried to be like this and I attracted a client like that, and then I meet them, say, you know, they're a new coach, and we don't click. And I feel like something I've been really trying to do is engage with those people that I could see myself being friends with. Okay, because I mean, really though, if you're trying to bring people on your team as a coach, you probably want to be friends with them before you bring them on your team. I mean, team retreats, things like that, I mean, a little awkward if you don't like them. So just being that honest person and being completely you on your social media, you're going to attract those people. And I think that's super, super important. And again, you don't want that negativity in your team. So, I mean, if you're giving out negative vibes, you're going to attract negative energy. Okay. So I'm trying to constantly be positive. Sweet. Hey guys, if you have any questions or anything, I know I've been seeing things pop up. I'm almost out of notes, so if you guys have any questions, please pop them in here and I can talk, or anything you want to know. So that is something that I've been focusing on. So that's kind of content part. And the biggest thing is, I don't want to say like finding your theme. I mean, I guess, but finding what, I mean, if you were to go to someone's page, and this is what I did a lot, I would go to someone's page before I was introduced to Lightroom and presets and filters, and like, wow, I really love their page. And I'm like, okay, what do I love about it? Is it bright? Is it the dark? But I like more of like the grayish blues, a little bit brighter tones. And so I think Jade's on here. Learning to use Lightroom was probably my biggest nightmare ever. Okay, so if you are new to Lightroom, or if you're thinking about getting Lightroom, just take a deep breath. I about gave up a couple times. I think what was I using? The VSCO. I don't know if you pronounce it as a whole word, or is it just VSCO, whatever. I was using that filter up and it worked great, but I ended up hating my feed. It was dark, didn't like it. Just didn't like it. So I need something bright. So I switched to Lightroom. I'm pretty sure I bought about 9 presets before I actually found one I really loved. And the one I have now has 3 in it. So that's kind of something that you have got to play around with. I know there's successful coaches out there and social media influencers that don't use filters, and that's totally great. But I know for a fact for myself, if I go to someone's page and I see it's cohesive and I see it's popping and I see everything blending, I'm going to be so attracted to it rather than someone that's not. And that may work for some people, and I don't want to put anyone down who doesn't use presets or filters or anything, so don't get that idea. But it's super eye-catching. Like, you go to someone's page and it's bright and you automatically are just like, oh my God, and you're just like scrolling for days because It's just like that. And I love that. So that's another thing. And that's something I don't want you guys to stress about, because I about had like an anxiety attack over Lightroom. I felt like my Instagram needed to be perfect right then and there. No excuses. But that's kind of something you've got to play around with. Ask your coach, because she will help you, I promise. And I know Emily, she put in our page, I was just like, I have no idea how to use this. And she just got on and showed us how to use it. She screen recorded, and I was like, oh my gosh. After that, I went and watched YouTube videos on it. Oh, YouTube's your best friend, by the way. So YouTube for Lightroom and just presets like that, key. Okay, I got some questions. No question, just that you're my favorite. Oh, you're so cute. Okay.
All right, Morgan, so I have some questions for you, and I'll go through and I can kind of let you know what questions I see popping up.
Yes.
So the first thing, so you said that one of your tips was you went through your discount coaches and you turned them into working coaches. So what did you do? Like, you messaged them, or like,
Yeah,
how did you?
Super blunt. Okay, I don't like to beat around the bush, especially when I'm trying to message people, because I don't want them to get the wrong idea or miscommunication. So I mean, I'm not like, mean or anything, but it's so simple. I would message my discount coaches. First, make sure they're loving the product 100%. Is your fitness routine going well? Anything I can help you with? Are you loving your Shakeology, your beach bars, your pre and your post, whatever they have? Is there anything I can help you with? Are you seeing results, which I would know from the boot camp, them checking in. 9 times out of 10 they are, and they are excited and continuing to do it. So then I throw out, well, have you ever considered coaching? Like, to me, a boot camper who is checking in every single day, who is drinking their pre and post or their Shakeology or whatever, checking in on Sundays for, progress pics, sharing it. Sharing in the boot camp, like, that's basically a coach. Just take that to another platform or different platforms, and then just ask people to join you. Like, it's so mind-blowing to me that people don't take this opportunity. And especially if they're already doing everything I'm doing, why not get paid for it? So I really just kind of break it down to them like that. I mean, it's really not that difficult. And the worst thing they're going to tell you is no. And that's totally okay. So that's kind of, especially my boot campers who are already discount coaches, it seems like a no-brainer to me. But you're going to have the few who are totally just, it's not my thing, and that's totally okay. But I would just like to tell them, like, hey, you are one of my girls who's checking in every single day. You're doing absolutely everything that I'm doing. Why not get paid for it? And half the time they're going to say yes, or there's just no reason really for them not to, unless personal preference, they really choose not to. But that's how I got 4 or 5 of my girls was, hey, you're already doing it. Like, come join me, and like, let's do this together and, get paid for it. And yeah, it's really hard to get a no, especially if they're super passionate about it. So the first thing I will go to is my super passionate girls checking in every single day, and that who are really loving it.
I love that you said that. The people who are checking in every single day that are already passionate about it. Our jobs are not to convince people to be coaches. Okay, so I saw some more questions. Let's see. I saw, would you please recommend a good app to edit pictures for Instagram? So you said Lightroom. You use Lightroom, right?
I do use Lightroom now. Before I use that VSCO. But Lightroom for me is super easy to use now. I really do love it. You can go on Etsy. I know there's so many social media like bloggers and stuff. They have their own presets, and it's really all about going. And most guys, if you go to, if you go to a page and you really love, this girl's or guy's preset, I've sent them messages and been like, hey, girl, what are you using? Because your feed looks bomb. 9 times out of 10, they're going to message you back. I've been using Lightroom super easy now. I YouTubed the crap out of it because I was so dumb when it started. But you can get multiple presets, and what I really like is you can just throw them into Lightroom, copy the preset, paste it on your picture. You always have to adjust with every picture, with lighting, colors, everything like that. And it's super easy. And I feel like that's probably been my favorite.
I agree. And I'm not good with those kind of apps and stuff. And I started using Lightroom and I'm like, oh my God, this is so simple. Like, so if I can do it, you guys can do it. Okay. So do you have an Instagram story posting plan?
No. So this is going to sound really bad, probably. Social media plans, like if I sit down and, especially stories, I do kind of plan out my feed. I use the app Plan, but I do use that, and that helps a lot. I think it's Plan with 2 N's, I believe so. But for my feed, I use that. My stories, I really don't. I mean, when I'm on my routine here lately, I have not been, but when I'm on my routine, it's pretty much the same thing. I mean, you wake up energized. Like Thursdays, I always post me cleaning my house. Like, that's my cleaning day. So I just have those things that just become routine. So I don't really necessarily plan out my stories at all. When I'm going to announce a new boot camp I'm starting or things like that, I will sit down and I will plan that, and I'll get my graphics together and things like that. But I don't have, like, a certain time or anything like that I'm posting is. And it's most of the time things that just kind of come up, like, oh crap, it just makes me energized, I'll post it. Or, I'm posting my workouts, but never a strict plan for my stories.
And that's what makes it more fun and real, like when we're sticking so much to a plan, that kind of takes the fun away from it. And guys, if you're not using the Success Club tracker, they have 5 or 6, maybe 7 things that you should be posting every single day, but putting your flair and flav on it. Okay, so let's see. Do you have an invite script that works for you?
I have invite scripts. Okay, for me, I've noticed, and this is just me finding what works for me. Okay, I'm months and months in, but things are constantly changing. My reactions from people are constantly changing. So I'm constantly having to change my wording, and how I talk to people, how I reach out to people. If I had a script for every way I reach out to people, I'd probably get so lost in scripts. I reach out to so many different people for so many different things. I'll find them on my Explore page. It could be a friend from high school that I've been following forever, and I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe it just clicked. Just simple things. I find that really detailed, seriously written out messages don't work for me. And I don't know if that's just because that's not how I am on my stories, or that's not how I'm on my page, but those don't work for me. So I really don't use them anymore. I do sit down and I will do my inviting. 9 times out of 10, the messages are never the same. And my first thing when I do invite, and this really isn't part of, it is, okay, invite script. When I do invite, is my first people I'll reach out to are public pages. So people who do not have their Instagram on private, because what I like to do is go through and find something that maybe we connect with. Like, maybe she has a dog. Okay, my dog is my freaking baby. Go talk to her about her dog. And it's just things like that are getting the conversations going. Or, I'll go reach out to someone who's already into fitness, but maybe not a coach, and just kind of talk to them about that. So they're always constantly different, just because the written out scripts do not work for me anymore.
I love that you said that, because I think we get so caught up on wording, you guys, so caught up on wording, and we forget that we're real people. Like, how would you want that person, someone else to message you? Like, we can probably all say when we have a scripted message sent to us from another company, we're like, right? So don't do it. I love the eye roll. I saw a couple people eye roll, but so don't do it. Just speak like a normal person. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. Okay, so I see another question that said, I was a coach a few years back, got to Emerald, invited away to family and friends, and now I'm afraid to invite again because I've quit before. Any suggestions?
So to me, especially the family part, if they support you, don't be afraid. Okay, they're your family. Friends, even randoms, if you've reached out to them before, if they've accepted or declined, maybe just go back out and say, hey, you know, I know the first time didn't work out for me. I'm trying this again. I feel really passionate about it. I really love your support. If you'd like to join me. Like, I think it would be so much fun if we could do this together, and I'm super excited about it this time. And just, I mean, don't be afraid, guys. The worst thing anybody can, I mean, probably not the worst thing. I've gotten some weird messages and some mean ones, but literally the worst thing someone's going to tell you is no.
Mm-hmm.
And on to the next. I mean, no offense, family or friends, I've gotten to that point where some of my family hasn't been 100% supportive, but that's okay. They don't have to be. They're not doing it. And I haven't asked them. And, you know, it's taken a while for a few family members to really come around. But if these are your family and friends that truly love you and support you, don't be afraid. Okay. And like I said, the worst thing someone can tell you is no.
I love that. Yes. I couldn't agree more. I had a thought and then I lost it. Oh, okay. So I know that we were talking, and like you said, it's normal to drop rank. It's normal to have, you know, ups and downs. I've had my ups and downs. If you talk to any coach who's ever rank advanced, you guys, they've had their ups and downs. It's just a part of the business, okay? So what if you had to come up with 3 steps of things that and she's like, oh God, you're putting me on the spot right now.
Give it to me.
That you're focusing on over the next couple weeks or months to help you solidify your diamond, what would that be? And move past diamond, because that's not the end all, y'all.
I feel like, actually, that's funny you say it. I feel like my first step, and I feel like this has been a real problem as to why I've dropped, and it happens so often. You get to diamond and you stop. Mm-hmm. So one of my biggest things that I guess what I'm looking at, yes, I know what diamond is. I know it exists, and I get it. I want to be back at diamond, but I really just want to focus. My first thing is not the diamond, is just to continually keep going. I'll hit diamond on the way, but really my first thing, especially, I mean, every day, is not have that diamond word stuck in my head constantly and like mocking me. Like, I just want it to be like another little milestone. So constantly adding, like, you can't stop ever adding. Like, just keep on going. So that's going to be my very first thing, is inviting and adding until I probably drop dead. Because yeah, inviting has been a tough one here for me lately. And obviously I won't get to diamond by people reaching out to me constantly. It's got to be something that I work on as well from my end. Oh gosh, second tip. My second thing will probably be really focusing on my team. I have my few girls, and I've noticed me moving forward. I mean, you getting to diamond, you got to have your girls below you as well. I mean, not below you. I hate saying that. You've got to have your other girls with you, you know, your emeralds. So I think, you know, my emeralds aren't really strong right now either. That's going to be something I'm working on 100%, making sure they're strong. Not before I work on getting back to diamond, but that's something that I really feel like needs to be solid 100%. Because in the beginning, that's what I got. I had all my coaches, but I had no emeralds. And I feel like the emeralds are almost the hardest part when it comes to things like that, because you don't have control over it. It's not really you. So that's something I'm really going to be locking in here in the next few weeks, is making sure I have strong emeralds, and backup emeralds is huge. Oh boy, my third. You know, I'm going to be like super cliche and just like my social media. I feel like that right there is, I mean, obviously that's the biggest part of coaching, and it's your job. But that's where kind of taking it back to number one, I guess, is, you know, getting all of my people interested in me and like seeing me and really getting out there. I feel consistently doing that is going to help me continue to grow my team. You know, I've noticed that nobody reached out to me in those 4 days I posted. So that's like really not one person, like nobody cared. And it's like I could post like today I got one, you know, I talked about this call. I was like, are you guys nervous public speakers, like something like that. And it's just like people were messaging me like, hey, you know, try watching funny videos before. And that right there, you know, I'll go back out and reach out to them and say, hey, thank you. That girl could possibly be on my team tomorrow. So things like that, just the little things and not letting anyone slip through the cracks is something that
Yes. I love that you handled me putting you on the spot with that. And I hope we all heard that, because with a business that, you know, is revolving around ranks and Success Club and coach signups and all of these things that we throw around in our head, you guys, it can put so much stress on us and it becomes a me goal. But when you pull yourself away from that and you say, let me see the bigger picture. How can I help more people? How can I help more people? And as I'm helping more people and I'm helping my coaches hit their goals, guess what? I can hit my goals too, right? So I love that you said that. Last question, I promise. I see it come through. So any advice on how long after you add someone from a public group that you commented on your post, when do you mention Beachbody after building the relationship?
Depending on what we're talking about, you know, how the relationship starts, I feel that it kind of comes natural. And my biggest thing, if it doesn't flow and if it doesn't feel natural, abort mission, because that's going to be so just like blunt and obvious. Like, hey, you see my Instagram? Like, if it doesn't flow, I definitely wait for the perfect moment, because like you said, I mean, how many messages or things you get just out of freaking left field, like, hey, I'm a beauty consultant, like just really thrown out there. And that's always something that's just, I mean, I hate getting them. So I would sure someone would hate getting that from me. So if the conversation's not flowing at the moment, don't bring it up. I don't know. I like to keep them going for probably about a day. And it's like about random things, you know, sometimes it'd be about their dog or, oh my gosh, you and your boyfriend are so cute. Like weird things like that. But girls love that stuff. Like girls love other girls being nice to them. Like it's so common sense. Like just reach out. One of my coaches now, perfect example. I messaged her and she was in this park. Seriously, it was fall time. Beautiful trees, a picture of her and her boyfriend. So I commented on it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. So then she liked my comment. So then the next morning I went back and I messaged her and I was like, hey, where do you live? Like that picture was so pretty and you and your boyfriend are so cute. And like, I literally loved the picture. And make sure it's something you actually want to talk about and you actually care about, because like I would never, sorry if there's any cat lovers on here, but I would never go comment on someone's cat because you're like, oh my God, your cat is so cute. I don't like cats. So that's not something that I would go want to be talking about. So make sure it's something you and that are genuine about. So I messaged her and, you know, she messaged back, you know, thank you so much. And then this is where most of the time they're like, hey, by the way, you look so good. And like, you know, your transformation was great. That would be the perfect time for me to be like, oh yeah, like, thank you. And, you know, if you ever think about joining, or are you on your own fitness journey? And in this case, she was, you know, she had a few gym selfies, but it flowed. She wouldn't have said that. I wouldn't have done it. So when mentioning Beachbody, I mean, I never name drop, and it's nowhere on my social media. So I like to, it's kind of fun to keep them guessing. So if it doesn't flow at the moment, keep trying. Think about something else to talk about, and just make sure it kind of flows in. I really wouldn't say there's a time period. I mean, with my coach Jessica, it literally happened the third message, but that's because it just flowed. So, I mean, I don't know, if you're feeling crazy, sometimes you can just throw it out there if they seem nice. And it may not come up casually in conversation, but most of the time. I mean, if you're social media, I mean, obviously they're going to be like, hey, who is this girl messaging me? They're going to go to your social media. You all should be public. They're going to look at that. Most likely they'll bring it up if they're interested. That's kind of something that I've found always flowed really well.
Yeah, you know, and I think that we have these lists that we're given, right? That we're like, okay, I need to cross off these lists. So we think like it has to be in this perfect alignment of when we invite. And like Morgan said, you guys, just let it flow. Breathe, guys, breathe, let it flow, talk like a real human being. And our job as coaches is to look for a way to help other people. So if you see in that conversation, you know, a pain point or you know, you see the person would make a great coach, ask them. Don't overthink it. Don't look for a script. Just ask them. Have you ever considered trying to do something like I do? So don't overthink it, guys. Well, Morgan, thank you so much for taking the time to share with us and just being so real. You know, I'm looking through all the comments and everyone loved it because you were just real and sharing you and sharing that you're just figuring this stuff out along with everyone else, right? Like no one has all the answers, and especially with the way that social media happens, you guys, it just changes so often. No one can be on their A game all the time. So thank you so much, guys. I will put this recording up on YouTube tomorrow. Feel free to search Mike Kozlowski before that. If not, your upline will grab the link and get it to your entire downline or wherever you send it. But Morgan, thank you so much. I'm sure we'll be talking on Instagram. Guys, have a wonderful night. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.